For 2 days, I kept replaying scenarios in my head. I knew how I could put her in her place without being aggressive. I knew what I had to say to crumble her fake sense of power over me. I had gone over all the things that proved I was a victim, proved I had done nothing but put out the fire she tried starting. I crossed all my T's and dotted my I's. I imagined the approach to my conversation with management, professional, open, and discussing the facts that disproved every accusation. After all, it was not my choice to become the bullseye for someone else's hatred. I was angry at many things, but mainly that poor attitudes like these are allowed in the workplace. Then I realized that I was giving her power to steal my peace outside the office. She was sucking the fun and energy away from my vacation. Actually, I was giving her past actions the power to do so. It is so hard to stop replaying an event that has hurt you or made you angry. We think about all the things we could say, the things we could do, and prepare reply for the potential attack that might come next time. It is easy to keep fueling the fire and so incredibly hard to just let go of anger. But at some point, we have to decide that enough is enough. One of my favorite reminders is that holding on to anger is like holding a hot coal. It only burns you. Let go. The minute I realized I was letting her ruin my vacation, I decided that I was no longer giving in to the devil game of blame and victimization. I was not going to waste my time on negative thoughts and emotions or imagining potential scenarios in my head. Was it easy? Heck no. I had to remind myself many times to walk away from a certain thought process or even a conversation that was going to bring me back into feeling angry and like a victim. But it was effective in restoring some of my peace and joy. The following 6 steps are what it took for me to be able to think of work and her without my blood pressure rising. And guess what? It wasn't until I completed step 6 that everything clicked in. 2 Bible verses for you, Psalm 34:19 and 2 Corinthians chapter 4 verses 8 to 9. So, my 6 points. Number 1, stop the replay. Stop replaying the situation or your future response in your head. The more you allow your mind to fester in the situation, the more your emotions get consumed in the event. If there is something you wish to say, write it down so you address it at a later time when your emotions have settled. And move forward to an activity. Reliving the event that made you angry and obsessing over what you could have said differently will only make you more angry and miserable. Leave the drama of the past out of your present and your future. Steer thoughts away from the negativity. Number 2, stop the gossip. Boy, when I'm angry, I need to vent. However, it is one thing to vent about the exact scenario and another to add trash talk to it and turn venting into gossip. The minute we start speaking ill of the person we're angry at to feel better about ourselves is the minute we sink to their level. Choose to express your thoughts in a way that will not throw gas on an already open fire. Choose the high road. It also means that you should be selective of who you vent to. Some personalities love drama and will encourage your anger instead of settling it down. Instead, share your frustrations with someone who's willing to understand both sides of a situation and give you wise counsel on how you can approach the matter. Side note, sometimes it's helpful to understand a person's attitude through a bit of psychology. This allows us to see the situation through their eyes and can aid in finding a better approach to the matter. So, quick question. What is it that you're triggering in them? Is it an insecurity that's leading for their need to control to feel above you? Do they feel belittled, so this is them speaking louder the only way they know how? Number 3, keep praying. When I'm really angry, the last thing I want to do is pray something positive into the situation or pray for the individual that hurt me. This is a big internal battle between my flesh and my spirit, and I cannot confidently say that my spirit wins every time. Yet, when I do give in and pray peace over my emotions and wisdom over my mind to handle the situation, I feel so much better. Prayer is our most powerful and least used tool. Prayer places the situation in the trusted hands of God and out of our angry hearts. It does not mean everything will be solved and everything will be peachy, but it does lift the burden and anger off our shoulders. Imagine when you were a kid and you got hurt and angry. Did you feel better after telling your parents what happened? There is a sense of support and comfort in laying a situation down in God's hands and knowing you don't have to face it alone. The best thing you can do is let go and let God. The more you allow your spirit to overpower your flesh, the wiser you will be when approaching these types of situations. It is easy to yell or tear someone down, but when the flesh wins, no one else does. Number 4, keep laying it down. Saying a quick prayer is helpful, but it does not always bring resolution to our hurting emotions. I have learned through much experience that sometimes you will find yourself playing hot potato with the anger. Give it to God, take it back. Give it back to God, take it back again. You're human, and this is rather normal for a reaction. Years ago, I recall being angry at the parents of a friend. And no joke, I literally had to hand over my anger to God and speak forgiveness at least 10 times a day for over a year. And I don't joke when I say a year. Our emotions matter. So when the anger or hurt comes back, do not stuff it down and ignore it. Instead, address it and give it back to God. It is a mental battle that can only be overcome with consistency. If it takes laying it down 10 times a minute, then lay it down 10 times a minute. You will find the less power you give this anger, the more peace you will find in the situation. The bonus? This is what helps us walk out of depression, as the deeper we burrow our minds in our pain, the more likely we are to enter different states of depression. Number 5, do your part. In an earlier post, I spoke about ways to deal with office drama. My belief is that conflict resolution is always best, and it should be your number one approach when possible. However, conflict resolution is not always attainable, especially when involved parties want nothing to do with resolution and everything to do with dramatic blow-ups. Don't forget to do your part. Whether that looks like talking to a manager or going out of your way to write an apology for your part in the issue. Or maybe keeping certain thoughts to yourself during confrontation. You have to do your part in the situation. It is one thing to pray for God to change the situation, but how effective is prayer if you're not doing your part in walking out the changes you're requesting? I would love to stir the pot and bring change to the culture that runs my current workplace, but that's not a freedom I have been given. I have been asked to follow protocols, navigate the turbulent waters, and be mindful of my approach to attacks aimed at me. Is it how I would like to manage the situation? Heck no. But God and my current boss have asked me to take the higher road, be an example through my character and behavior, and let management address what they feel necessary, how they feel necessary. Some days I hate it, but boy, is it ever building good character in me. And number 6, the most important point, forgive. This step is so crucial, and it's honestly the hardest to complete. I won't lie, the last bout of anger I had with certain situations, I actually didn't think about forgiveness until the thought trickled in on day 2 of my anger. When we continue to forgive, we remove the power anger has over us. Situations will not always be fair, and you will not always get a chance to voice your side of the story. And we have to accept that. That's life. You will never move on from a situation if you do not let the person go and stop holding anger and resentment towards them. Forgiveness is not about saying what was done to you was okay. It is saying you choose to extend the same grace God has extended to you and walk away from the situation without the need to prove your side of the story or get revenge. These steps may not be the complete solution for your dilemma, but if they can help you regain control of your mind and emotions, then they're worth a try. Currently, I'm continuing to work through them on a daily basis, so you're definitely not alone. What are some of the approaches you've taken to stop the replay of a bad situation? Let me know in a comment below.